Hey guys, this is Mike and Ed. So we've been getting a lot of questions about how Socra journeys work. Basically, how to use them, what features are there, why did we build them, all sorts of questions about journeys. And so we figured we'd make a quick video describing how journeys work and a little bit, few tips and tricks about journeys. So let's go ahead and dive in.
Yeah, so I'm Eduarda. I'm the soccer designer, so that includes journeys. And Mike is a developer for Socra, so he wrote all the code for journeys. So this is the best person to ask any question that you might have.
Or if you break something, I'm also the person you should probably reach out to.
Every bug that you see in the platform, it's his fault.
It's my fault.
So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments, and Mike will be right there answering them for you.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about journeys. What are journeys?
Journeys are a feature that we created to help people achieve their goals.
Are they for big goals, small goals? When do you use a journey?
Right. So here's the thing. When we had the idea for Socra, it started with a question that was, what do I have to do today to achieve my long-term goals? When Mike and I started thinking about journeys and designing the feature so we could build it, we wanted to design this feature so we could use it ourselves to build Socra. So I would say that journeys have been designed to be very good for long-term complex goals. Goals that involve hierarchical work that you will have to divide in multiple sections. So for example, if you are starting a company, there's going to be a lot of different sections, from your MVP to marketing to your business plan. And each of these sections are going to have to be broken down again into smaller sections, and then broken down again to smaller steps, and so on and so on.
So you'd say journeys are a helpful way to help you break a big goal down into a bunch of smaller goals and help make each one achievable.
Right.
Yeah. And I would add on to that and say, with each little step in your overall journey, Socrates, our AI life coach, is there with you the entire way, helping you plan, track, navigate the whole thing. So that's kind of journeys in a gist. Is it's for long-term goals that you're going to need some planning. It's got some level of hierarchy of work, meaning that the thing that you're trying to do is pretty complex. And so that's journeys in a nutshell. So what is this page that we're on right now?
So this is your journey dashboard. It has an overview of which journeys you're working on, where you started and where you are in the process. You also get to see a breakdown of your tasks that you have to do by journeys if you have scheduled them.
First thing that we should do whenever we're thinking about journeys is to create a journey. So let's go ahead and create one.
Right. So I'll just go ahead and click New Journey button. Very simple. Here, when you create a new journey, you can create a journey for anything you would like.
One extra note about journeys here is that you'll notice that we start the sentence, I want to, and the journey typically completes that sentence. So I want to start a business, I want to get in shape, I want to learn public speaking, etc. It's usually, it's phrased that way usually because people are trying to achieve an objective. They're trying to go from where they are to where they want to be. And describing it in that way is the most concrete way that you can do that. So for this one, what journey do you think we should create?
Let's do Start a Business. It's a popular journey on the platform.
So let's create it. So the first thing that you'll notice here is that Socrates actually reached out and sent you a message and asked you to get a little bit more information about your goal. What we found, especially when researching people's goals and why people don't achieve goals, basically the whole background for why we're creating a platform like this, one of the key things is that people really struggle to define their goals concretely. Most people have a general idea of what they want to do, but they fail to define it concretely and specifically. And so the very first thing that you'll do when you create a new journey is you'll walk through with Socrates defining that goal. He's going to help you clarify where you're at, where you want to go, and everything in between so that he can build a plan for you to help you achieve that goal. So right at the start, he's asking you, what kind of business are you looking to start?
Right. So one thing that you're going to see is that this is always going to be the first step for every journey. And I consider this the most important step. This is a step that you want to give all relevant information and everything that is like critical for your circumstances, because the model is going to take that into consideration to generate your routes and to generate a plan for you. And another thing is, like, it has happened to me multiple times, is that just by like defining my goal very well, I end up like solving problems or discovering even problems that I didn't know I had. And it's just like, it just puts me closer to it, because I learned way more about what I'm trying to do just by defining my goal clearly. And also about like, these are things that usually we don't think about, right?
That's actually a great point. And so the first things he's asking here are to try to define the goal. We're saying we want to build an AI platform for goals. I think that's kind of ironic because that's what Socra AI is. And so you'll notice that as he's doing this, he'll actually be providing these little suggestions on the bottom for things that you could potentially ask or say that could help, move you along in this process a little quicker. Another thing that you'll notice is that Socrates will actually provide a tip. If you're missing information, he'll actually say like what information you are missing. The other thing that is super important to see is that the things that are happening in your chat over here are actually being updated on the dashboard on the left. When Socrates clarifies information from your chat, he's inputting that information into your plan in your journey.
The tip suggestions that are so clutch.
You always say
I use them all the time, but for me it always feels like sometimes I use them so much that it feels like there's 2 AIs or 3 AIs talking to each other and I'm just an observer.
Which AI are you?
I'm just an observer. No, but seriously, they become very good as you dive deeper into the chat as well. You're going to see that this suggestions become more specific. And this is something that happens to your journey. I started a journey here that is just like start a business. And the initial page of this journey is just the overall start a business page, right? And we are right now in the process of breaking this down into smaller sections. And the further you go into your journey, the more specific things will become.
And suffice it to say, all of this is personalized for you as you're creating. This isn't being pulled from any database anywhere. These are being generated for you based on the context around your journey.
Right. So before I go to the next step, I'm going to show you real quick here the resources that we have for journeys.
Oh, yeah, resources.
So first is like schedule. You can schedule each of your actions. Right now we are just in the overall bigger one, but if you want to set a due date for when you want to achieve your goal, you can add notifications, you can add email reminders, and then you also have notes. So you can take notes of anything. You can add your work. There is a lot of tools within notes. You can add tables, code, images, links. So I really like using this tool to just like keep my work all in one place. And then here you're going to see that we also have videos, right? So that's the one thing with videos. The journey is to start a business. So like the initial videos are going to be more general to start a business, right? Like 5 steps to start your first business. And as you go deeper into your journey, things will start to become more specific to you.
In other words, each step of your journey is customized, and it's customized explicitly for the encapsulation of what that step is trying to achieve relative to your overall goal. So hopefully that clears that up a little bit. As far as these resources go, they're also AI generated. The suggestions are also AI generated. So we're suggesting videos here. Below you'll see tips and tricks, common mistakes, different things that we find help people achieve their goals a little bit more efficiently.
Right. And to help us improve these recommendations, you can always like or dislike these resources so we can learn more about what works for you and just what works in general. So here, as Mike said, we have tips on common mistakes to avoid. We find this particularly good for example, fitness goals. I ended up finding a lot of things that I just didn't know about just by reading these resources. Um, so here I will go ahead and I'll click on next step. So as you see here, part of the first part of the plan is goal definition. I will go to next step.
And in this next step, Socrates is taking the information that you provided during the goal definition step. He took where you're at, where you want to be, and now he generated a few routes for you. And what a route it's effectively, you can think of it like a GPS, where you can either get to your destination via a car or a bike or walking. Routes are different ways that you can reach your objective. And so based on these routes, you could select one that you find that is best for you. And when you do, you'll be able to create milestones for that route. So once you've confirmed your route, Socrates will generate potential milestones for you. And what these milestones are basically the main milestones that you need to hit in order to achieve that goal. Whether it's a big goal or a small goal, he's going to generate these milestones for you so that it can help you basically achieve your goal. You'll notice here, once these milestones are generated, they are this is a blueprint for what your plan is going to look like.
Very good.
So these milestones, you'll notice that they are fairly vague at the moment. They're a general blueprint for what you need to do in order to achieve this goal. Under the hood, there is more information, but also when you start navigating this journey, you'll have the option to plan each of these individual milestones as if they were their own journey. And what this allows you to do is effectively break down this big goal into much smaller goals and generate this hierarchy of steps to complete your overall goal. So while you're looking at these milestones, you can add or remove different milestones. You can confirm them when you've decided that they look good to you. And when you've confirmed these milestones, you'll move on to the execution phase of your journey, which is the phase where you actually go and do stuff. In this step, he's basically suggesting the first step in your journey here, the first execution step is for you to work on your first milestone. And so this next step UI here is always going to be there. It's always going to tell you exactly what is the next step that you should be working on. One thing that we want to add here is that you don't actually have to follow this order that Socrates is suggesting. If you want, you can go in the Execute tab. You can look at your entire plan as it is. If each of these milestones have their own milestones underneath them, it'll show them in this tree here. But what this allows you to do is, if you click on the first one, for example, you can work on this milestone out of order from the other ones if you wanted to. So that's just a little piece of information, but let's go back to the Overview tab so that we can work on the first step. If you're happy with the first step and you want to get going on this journey, you click Start. When you click Start, you'll see that you've now entered into the Research AI Technologies milestone, and you'll get the chance to either plan or complete the item if you feel like you either need to plan it or you're good to complete it. A good rule of thumb is typically if we can complete something in about one sitting, we don't really need to plan additionally. But if you feel like this milestone requires extra planning, then it's your opportunity here to create a plan for this milestone, and it works just like the root level journey. So an extra note here is that each milestone is in and of itself a type of journey. So it has estimated, AI-generated estimates for duration, difficulty, and cost. It's got all of the resources, tips and tricks, common mistakes, all specific to this milestone. It also has scheduling and the ability to create plan, which I mentioned earlier. And so, yeah, if you feel like you need to plan, then you can plan it. If not, you won't need to. So in this demo, just to keep things short, we'll just mark this guy as done and move on. Okay. So we've completed a milestone. Great job. Now we can move on to the next step.
Next step.
And you'll see here that if we were to go back to our main journey, Execute tab, you could see that this item that we had just completed is now done. And our next step is this study fitness tracking methodology step. So
I actually want to check out this step and see what it's gonna do. Let's plan it out.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's plan.
So you see that Socrates already understands what your desired outcome is for this because he has context of your journey. So he already filled in for you what the desired outcome is. But if you want to add anything additional, you can always go and ask him. Same thing from the starting point. So just ask him, please help me plan the current step. My starting point is absolute beginner.
And so you can see here that now he's not just talking about starting a business, but he's wanting to define fitness tracking methodologies with you. And so this is where journeys take their own really cool twist, is that they get more and more specific for the different things that you're working on.
It's like, have you heard of those? Yes. Step counting.
And we're making a lot of jokes about how we're chatting with him now, but in reality, you'll want to have really specific, detailed conversations with Socrates so that you can define each of these milestones, each of these steps for your overall journey as good as possible.
Please don't give answers like mine. The more specific you are, the better this is gonna be. This is just a demo. I just want to type fast.
Yeah. All right. So once you've defined this milestone, it works almost identically to the root level journey. Now you've defined your starting point and the desired position for this specific step, and you could get to move on to generate routes and generate milestones and work on this step just like your root level journey. So one little pro tip here is, after Socrates initially fills out your starting point and desired outcome, you'll have the opportunity to edit these if you want to. A lot of times we don't want to. They're usually pretty good, but you can if you want to provide additional information for Socrates. Once you submit, you'll generate routes just like you generated routes for your journeys. And so you'll walk through basically the same process regardless of the depth that you're at in the journey, whether it's a milestone, that milestone's milestone, or any step below that. You'll get to generate routes, you'll get to select a route, and you'll get to generate milestones and review them for every step in your plan if you want to. So for this one, we like this middle one, so we're going to confirm it, and we'll generate milestones, and then we'll get to see those milestones, confirm them, and move on. It works identically regardless of the depth that you're at, which is perfect. We just generated the milestones for this current milestone. In other words, the sub-steps for this milestone. We can go through each of these guys. We can plan them all. We can edit this plan however we want. And so I guess let's move on from here.
Right. So I think you get the drill. You have a bigger goal. You have a big goal. This is good for big, complex goals. You break it down. And you do it as many times as needed so you can make progress. So you have actions that are manageable and that can put you closer to your goal.
So for this plan that we just generated, you could see we've got all of the milestones that we had in the first level. We've got all of the sub-steps for the milestone that we had elected to plan here, study fitness tracking methodologies. We kept track with the chat the whole time, which is great. Socrates helped us define not only the overall goal, but also the fitness tracking methodologies. You could see how he will help you define and generate he'll help you define the goal, help you generate the routes and milestones for any step that you have in your overall journey. And so as you're walking through this, you get the opportunity to walk through each of these steps, complete them, and when you're overall done and satisfied, then you're done with your journey.
So another thing is that you can always manually add new steps to your plan. You can edit them, rename them, delete them. You can move them around with this nice drag and drop. So there is a lot of flexibility to stay organized and to plan your journey.
So I think for this demo, this about wraps it up. We've basically walked through what journeys are. We've talked about how to create a journey, what journeys are good for. We've talked about how journeys work in terms of when you start the journey, how Socrates helps you drill down, define that goal well. We've also discussed what routes are in journeys, why they're useful. We talked about milestones. We even planned a milestone underneath the root level journey, just like how we planned the root level journey. So just from that little demo, hopefully you guys can see a little bit of the power of journeys and why we find them so useful, and why we always joke internally with ourselves that we're actually using the platform to build the platform, because we're using journeys all the time to actually build different things on the platform. So if we're finding it useful, I hope you guys find it useful, and I hope you guys found this overall video useful. So if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them in the comment section below, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. You guys can also reach out to us at team@socra.com. Anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, I wanted to share this just because I like my journey dashboard looking nice. I just want to say you can go and generate an AI cover for your journey.
We can't miss that. So the AI cover, they're really hit or miss. Generally, they're really beautiful, but sometimes you'll see limbs that don't quite match up. This is kind of the state-of-the-art AI image software at this point. They are getting better, and they're getting better day by day. And within a year, I'm sure it'll look absolutely amazing. But for now, this is kind of a nice to have. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you have a little bit better understanding of how journeys work. If you have any suggestions for us, let us know in the comments below. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.